All right, Nick, let's talk about the Florida Gators. This is a team that's going out. They're trying to get some big time recruits. They're trying to retool this team with the departure of Anthony Richardson. They're trying to go in a different direction, make sure everyone is lined up to make this offense led under head coach Billy Napier. He wants this team to be a powerhouse, restore them to the former glory of the early 2000s or late 90s, around those eras, Nick. But there's some big time transfer portal news for the Florida Gators. And we're going to get to that story here in just a moment. But Florida fans, we got to know season is over. And as you look back and remember last season, I want to know in the comments below, what was your favorite moment from last season? Let us know in the comments below. But Nick, what is the big news coming out of Florida?
Yeah, it's so weird, right? With the transfer portal being what it is, where any team can kind of retool any weakness or re-upgrade their roster so fast over the offseason, bringing in veteran quality players. It's kind of an exciting time in Florida. Like a lot of programs that want to compete at the high level are taking full advantage of it, and they've made big news here. So this is from USA Today. The Florida Gators have landed the signature, one of the best offensive linemen, have landed the signature of one of the best offensive linemen in the transfer portal. Former Baylor offensive guard Micah Mazzccua, hopefully I'm saying that right, announced that he would be transferring to Gainesville with 2 years of eligibility remaining. Mazzccua chose Florida over Auburn and Nebraska, so obviously heavily recruited top guy. This is good news for the Gators, who are in desperate need of reinforcements along the offensive line. The Gators have had a number of players depart the program, either through the transfer portal or by declaring for the NFL draft. And here's the big one here, most notably 2022 consensus first-team All-American Osiris Torres, who is an absolute beast, an animal. He followed Billy Napier from Louisiana to Gainesville and expected to be one of the first offensive guards taken in the 2023 NFL draft. I think he is the best guard in the draft. That's my personal opinion. The guy is a beast. Some more data on Mazzccua here. According to Pro Football Focus, Mazzccua is ranked as the second best guard in college football, not in the transfer portal, right? In college football as a pass protector, having started 10 games for the Bears, the Baylor Bears, of course. All right, Miles, I think this is a big deal for Florida because obviously they're losing Torrance. He's going to the NFL. He's going to be a superstar in the NFL, which is a superstar for Florida. Bringing in a guy at Mazzcua's level who, according to PFF, was one of the best, the second best pass blocking guard throughout college football last season. I think this is a major win from Florida because it's clear all other big time programs really wanted this guy. For Florida to get him is a really great sign. Give me your thoughts on Florida nailing this transfer guy and just everything going on with the program right now.
Yeah, Nick, I really like Mazzccua. This is a guy, he's got a lot of culture, a lot of class to him. Obviously, he came out of St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, Maryland. So he has good taste in football teams, hopefully. He was a big 3-star recruit coming into Baylor. And when he left, he was one of the best interior offensive linemen in the country, as you alluded to, per PFF, 78.5 run blocking grade. He also had 14 big time blocks last year, second among all guards in college football. So, as you said, he's got the stats, he's got the numbers, he's got the size, Nick. He's 6'5, 331 pounds, a really big guy. He's a bulldozer in the run game, a great pass blocker as well. He can kind of do it all, as you said, one of the best interior offensive linemen in the country. If you were going to rebuild an offensive line and kind of try to fill the roles of, as you said, such an excellent player leaving on that offensive line, this is the kind of guys that you want to get in there. Guys with a proven talent, 2-year starter at Baylor. He looks to be very, very polished, look to be good. And a Florida team who traditionally has been very good at developing offensive linemen. Most notably, you think of like guys like the Pouncey brothers and things like that. They can produce that kind of talent. So this seems to be a very, very good fit for Florida. And I think going forward down the stretch, if they want to rise back to, I said, that early 2000s, late 90s, national championship contending promises, you got to start in the trenches. You got to build that offensive line, Nick.
Yeah, 100% agree there. But one thing that's really interesting we're seeing this offseason going back to the transfer portal is we're seeing top flight blue blood programs. Basically, what they do is if there's a prospect coming out of high school, like Masco was, 2, 3 star, kind of guy, had some question marks. I don't know all the details of Masco, but obviously, going to Baylor from Baltimore, Maryland is kind of a big trip. I'm sure he obviously had a few, dinks on his rating or something like that didn't make him a 4 or 5 star. He goes to Baylor, he develops into a superstar, and these blue blood programs are able to transfer and pull him in, even though they missed him 2 years ago. And I think we're seeing that seismic shift in college football where these big time programs are able to get a second shot at these guys that they missed in their own process when they're coming out of high school. And I think we're going to see smart programs. It looks like Florida's on the cutting edge with a lot of these guys as well. Kind of mind the rest of college football, because I'm sure back in the day, Mazzccua was kind of being recruited by Florida. Florida had an eye on him, like, yeah, we don't like this about him. We're not sure if he can do this X, Y, and Z. He goes to Baylor and he just blows everybody out of the water. Like, okay, we want this guy. We want to bring him back. He's exactly what we hoped his potential could be. He showed he can meet there. We didn't want to offer him at the time. Now we definitely want to. So again, I think we're going to see a lot of blue blood programs kind of follow that model. And credit to Napier in Florida, in the Florida program, for executing on that. Because look, when you lose a guy like Torrance, when you lose a lot of guys yourselves, you need to reload quickly, especially when you have a new quarterback. You want a strong offensive line in front of him, some stability there. And bringing a guy like Mazzccua is the perfect way to get that done. I think this is a huge deal for the Florida Gators program.